If you guys need any cards, packs, sleeves, anything of that nature, shop on TCG Player using my affiliate link in the description. What's good, YouTube? Welcome back. We are here showcasing some crazy new technology I've been working on. After all the success I've had with Chaos Fairies, I decided to kind of branch out and try to apply the same like Dimmalk, Caius, Fader, Cyber Valley engine to other decks. And one of the ideas that I've been thinking about for a while is one that actually I don't think I really came up with. I think a teammate of mine was actually trying this out a long, long time ago, although maybe a probably pretty different looking build than this, which is the Cyber Eltanin sort of Machina thing with the Faders and the Caiuses. So we're just like testing the waters with that concept today. So as you can see, one of the big pieces of this build is going to be Cyber Eltanin. This card is actually pretty nuts. Or at least it seems pretty nuts on the face. Of course, in practice, it's hard to get like an actually big body on this thing, and there's lots of times when its effect isn't all that useful, but there's also a lot of times where its effect is completely crazy and game-breaking in every way. So Eltanin lets you banish all the light machines on your field and in your graveyard to summon it. It gains 500 attack and defense for each, and then it sends all other face-up monsters on the field to the grave. So it's like a lightning vortex that ignores Stardust and My Body and stuff like that, or Starlight Road. But also it sends your own other face-up monsters too, so that's something you got to be wary of. So it's like a jank lightning vortex / dark hole that doesn't destroy. And of course, it is like a big machine dude that you can pitch to summon Fortress. One of the other issues with it is that there aren't a lot of actually good light machines in the format. So we basically have to play Valleys and Cyber Dragons at max copies with like some mill cards so we can try and fill up our graveyard with light machines. And then, of course, we got the Machina package to go with it. I think playing the One Force is super important. It definitely comes up a lot. Even if you have like all the mill stuff and might potentially mill it, I think it is important to have that One Force in there. Gore's Trag, of course, very good. Faders, Caiuses, and we already kind of discussed that a little bit. Just kind of playing this Dimmalk, Fader, Caius loop shenanigans, and it goes well with the Valley as well. We also got Card Trooper to go with our milling, and it's another machine monster. We got Chaos Sork, of course, tons of lights and darks, and then a Sangan as well. This card is maybe a little iffy. It's just another good dark. Like, searching Fader, I think, is the big thing that you can really do with this, that kind of makes it worth it, because it lets you, like, float into something that's just going to keep you alive. So I think Sangan's nice. Then for the spells, we got one Allure, one Charge, one Brain, one Mind, one Heavy, one Typhoon, just all the one-off staple power cards. And for the traps, we have Return, Torrential. That's kind of all we have room with. I did play with a side deck. These are just some things I've been thinking about here. I really want to go with like the same Double Decree plus Dust Shoot, but I'm having trouble finding room at the moment. Maybe that's something I can work out at a later date, because I would like to go with that same trap lineup that's in the Chaos Fairy build, because I think that trap lineup in the Chaos Fairy build is very successful. But that's what we're working with. Let's look at the replays. I played against two kind of like, wacky high roll decks. The first one is Dark World, which this is game one was kind of interesting. I think the dude like resolved drag down a lot. So here, I mean, the drag down's not great, right? We just rip a Dark Resonator, which I don't even know whether they're on that. Maybe they're playing some kind of Dark Calling thing. Yo, maybe I should build some kind of Dark Calling, Dark World Turbo. We're getting into other territory here. Let's focus on this game. So they got the Morphing Jar set. I like pretty much just assume this is Morphing Jar. So I decided to use all of my cards, like all of them, and hit into this Morphing Jar. Unfortunately, this does mean that we are going to have to Fortress off in main 2, which maybe I should have just not summoned the Sidra. I don't know. Because we're just going to get brain control outed no matter what we do. So actually this kind of ended up being better. So we have to use our own Fortress, whatever. It's no big deal. The opponent's playing Dark World. They don't actually do anything. You know what I'm saying? We got a Gores and a Fader, so just absolutely no way we're dying here. I decided to just battle Fader rather than screw around with Gores right now. Just avoid taking the damage, because you never know when the other one might get ripped in the future. And we can out everything. We got Brain Control. We've got Machina Fortress with an equipped Gear Frame. Obviously, no reason not to equip it there, because the Gear Frame doesn't get over anything. They tribute summon their main deck Cyber Dragon. I'm like, all right. So they go for drag down. They take my Sork rather than my Gores, which I think is probably fine for them to do, unless they think they can go for game here. The Avarice, though. Whew. they're playing Avarice, so they put everything back, draw 2, and then a lore, and now they've got just 5 unknown cards in their hands, so I basically gain nothing from the knowledge. They go for Upstart, that's fine. They decide to card D just to get rid of my Gores so they can hit in here, which I guess is fine. And now we're going to see the first Cyber Eltanin come out, and I gotta say, this card felt pretty solid just every time I drew it. I just never felt like I wasn't getting good value out of this. Yeah, it clears the Fortress for free, the Sangan gets a search, but like, it's still kind of going plus here, right? Because it's got to trade with something else. We go for that Caius, the Torrential outs our board, but that's fine. Way to set Card Trooper. We go in for the Machina Gear Frame, search that last copy of Machina Fortress. I also got to say, RFDD is insanely hard in this list too. Probably like one of the craziest RFDD decks I've ever played, because Eltanin will just banish a bunch of Cyber Valleys and like Cyber Dragons and stuff from your graveyard. It's so free. And then also you got Triple Valley, like just gives you your own ways to set it up, and you got Sork, there's just so many, like, it's so easy to get RFDD live in here. Right now we're just beating in. Opponent has a drag down, so they take my Trag. Yeah, that is they actually resolved 3 drag down this game, completely nuts, but opponent's just getting owned here. We got the Caius, we got everything, right? We could summon Fortress, we can go Mind Control Cyber Valley, we have Fader to stay alive, there's just nothing. Now we have a set return, which could just summon infinity billion things. I think we go for Fader and just summon Caius, though. So, yeah, that's going to be the end of game number 1. Game number 2, I think, was a lot less close. Dark World's kind of... It's one of these decks where it just, like, doesn't draw well most of the time. It doesn't do much most of the time. So they go... just set the Morphing. I go for Brain Caius again, and it was the Morphing Jar again. So, fortunate for me. The Dark World dealings is definitely kind of helping me out, I'm not gonna lie. We just decided to bring down that Tragodia because I don't think we're getting much value out of it anyway. They go Brain Tribute, we go Gear Frame. Again, that Force comes up. It definitely comes up. I think pretty much have to have that one Force. We go for the Trooper here, fine, we hit in. We're playing around Torrential pretty well. And, from this point, the game is clearly over, right? There's no coming back from this for the opponent. They can Mirror Force. They're still taking 25 and just going -1, basically. Or, I guess, 1 for 1. And, yeah, there's nothing they can do here. So the other match was against some kind of Lightsworn, Phantom of Chaos, Monster Mash pile with Monster Reincarnation, where basically the goal seemed to be to resolve Merchant and just, like, win the duel from there with, like, Skyscourge Norlurus, summon a bunch of Vayu things or something. And it was actually kind of scary when it was doing stuff, but game 1, they don't have the Merchant, and we just got a bunch of stuff. So we go for the Mind Control on the Raikou, kill itself, try to get in for damage. Of course, the opponent has the Battle Fader here. They go Lumina, pass, doesn't really do anything. We draw Eltanin. Here we go for Card Trooper. Then we we unequip the Gear Frame, and we just hit in for a bunch. We have a Torrential set. I think they go for like a Colossal Fighter here with their Soul and their Herald, and I actually just like Torrential it because I don't have another way to get rid of it. Fortunately, we have 2 floaters on the board, so we're still up like 2.5 cards, basically. I should have added, though, probably Eltanin, because we could have pitched 1 to bring back the Fortress. Or we could have just brought back both Fortresses and won the game, actually. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking, adding back Fader. I was just, like, brain turned off, you know? So now we got to do some weird roundabout garbage here. Like, I think we use the return to just go for game or something. Yeah, we bring back a Fortress, we activate return, whatever, we draw some cards, we summon another Fortress. Yeah, we just drew, like, we just drew a lot of cards that turn with the, with all the Cyber Valleys and the return. The return is just nuts with the Cyber Valleys, as you can see. Here we go for charge, and then I think we go... Yeah, if I had known they were on Merchant, probably would have specialed Sidra first, attacked, then maybe tried to go for Vanity's Fiend. But lucky us, they hardly mill anything, so it's not the end of the world. They are going to kind of go off on us, though. It's a little bit scary. If they'd had Norlurus access, this definitely would have messed us up. So we decided to go in here because we can just drop the Vanity's Fiend in game 2. They actually don't pop the Sidra because they want to Fortress me, but of course we have that Vanity's Fiend. Then we have DD Crow to stop this, but then they just have freaking Herald of Orange, which I don't really know why they're playing Herald of Orange in here. It doesn't seem to me that they're on Christia or that it really synergizes with anything, but yeah, I mean, it did own us there. We are now down bad. They're going into Brionic, which is like okay. We could maybe find it out potentially. We do have problems though, because we got like multiple Raikos in hand. It's not great. It is not optimal. Yeah, we're just getting bounced back every turn. It's a rough situation. So I think we need to drop... If they just summoned Armwing, they would have had game through Trag, by the way. So I don't know why they didn't. And then we draw into this. So actually, they just like let us get back into this game for no reason. But then they top deck Skyscourge Norlorus, which they actually can hard summon. I guess that's why they're playing the fairies, so they can hard summon Norlorus. But that just doesn't seem... that doesn't seem like the way to me. I'm not really sure. Game number 3. We're doing pretty good here. We got a Minecon to take the Merchant. You know what? I think they actually draw the 3rd Merchant here, if you can believe it. I think that's actually what happens. So we mill like our entire deck, by the way. Actually, what? They don't... Oh, no, they reincarn back the Merchant. All right, I was thinking, like, they had a 3rd Merchant here. So I don't actually have a way to stop that Merchant from resolving. I maybe shouldn't have used this charge, because we're getting way too low on deck. And I think deck out is like is going to be like a reasonable thing that could happen. Well, it could also happen to them, because they mill like their whole deck for this Merchant, which is not good, right? It's really not good, because we're getting Norlorus to no matter what now, and they could summon like a bunch of Vayu dudes. We do have some top decks that could save us. The obvious one, just looking at it, is Cyber Eltanin, because that thing's going to come out with like 3k attack. It'll clear their whole board, so unless they kill me here, I can like clap them back really bad if we draw an Eltanin, and there it is. There it is. Just nuke their whole board. Why not? Get out of here. It's 3k attack, GG. There's no Necrogardna. Eltanin's based. I feel like this card was really good every time I drew it. I was never upset to see it. I mean, like, even if you can't really summon it to much effect, it just revives Fortress too, which is insane. So I think this card's pretty slept on. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you thought in the comments section, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out. As always, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Furthermore, if you enjoy my content, you should think about becoming a channel member. You get access to tons of bonus content, and it's a great way to help support the channel.